Recording start. Okay. Okay, fine. Uh, so to just summarize your last lecture, in the last lecture we have discussed the concepts of various solutions to solve your critical section problem. Okay, and we have also seen about how to implement the sleep and wake up call also, wake up system call also. One example we have seen. Now there are problem with the sleep and wake up system call. Okay, because if either one of the process forgets to initiate either sleep or wake up, then in that case your critical section problem will not be solved. Okay, so to avoid that problem we are going to study another concept that you call it as semaphores. Okay, so first let's see what is a semaphore. Simply you can put it like this. It is also one of the method to solve your race condition problem. Okay, whatever the problem we have discussed in the starting of the chapter, that is race condition, and for this we are designing a part of your program to be critical section. Now you are ensuring that no two processes are in critical section and all those conditions, and for that we have discussed the solutions also. So not all solutions are guaranteeing you the complete solution. Okay, now semaphore is also one such solution to solve this problem of race condition. Okay, so if you go by definition, it is nothing but a variable. Okay, so if it is a variable, you can store various values in this variable. So what kind of values can be stored, that also we will be discussing. Another operation, I mean on variables we can perform certain operations. Okay, so similarly semaphore is a variable, so we can perform certain operations on semaphore also. Okay, so semaphore is a variable that is used to solve critical section problem. Okay, and to achieve process synchronization. Okay, in multi-processing environment. So mostly this is used in your cooperative processes. Okay, because in cooperative processes only we require synchronization. Okay, if they are independent processes, then there is no need of synchronization. Okay, so that is basically the definition given in your textbook in Galvin and Tannenbaum. In both you will be having similar kind of definition. Okay, now there are two types of semaphores. Okay, mostly the binary semaphore and counting semaphore. Okay, so as the name suggests, your binary semaphore can take only two values, 0 and 1. Okay, whereas your counting semaphore can take values from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, it can take values of this range, but we normally prefer to go with the non-negative values, that means 0 to infinity. And if the value is going beyond 0, that means in the negative, then most of the processes will be in the block state. So that also we will discuss further. Okay, for now understand, counting semaphore can take values from minus infinity to plus infinity, and binary semaphore can take values from 0 to 1. Okay, so what is this semaphore, what operations you can perform, let's see with one example also. Okay, so in on semaphore we say that it is a variable, so you can perform two operations. Okay, first operation is the P operation and next operation is the V operation. Okay, now in some textbooks or blogs or in some material you will be finding P operation renamed as wait, sleep, down. All these are same, the logic inside is the same. Okay, so if you find in any book the name is different, then don't get confused. Okay, I have like written all the possible names. In Tannenbaum, if you see, they will be writing down and up. Okay, and in your Galvin, if you see, in some location they will be writing wait and signal, and in some location they will be writing P and V. Okay, Stelling's, William Stelling is one book that follows this operation. Okay, this style. So different authors follow different style of notation of this operation, so don't get confused. Okay, you can use any one, but use the similar pair. Like if you are using weight, then use signal. If you are using down, then use up. If you are using P, then use V. Okay, even in your competitive exams also, you will be getting these combination pairs only. Okay, so you need to remember this, right? So P operation is there and V operation is there. So what P operation does and its logic, that we will be discussing in next slide. Now these both operations are atomic in nature. Okay, so both operations are atomic nature. That means if one operation happens, then another operation happens to its completion. Okay, so if P operation is started, that means it will be completed. It will not be interrupted in between. Okay, if P operation is started, then it will be completed. And similarly, if V operation is started, it will be completed. Okay, there is no intermediate operation. Like in the previous examples we have seen, when certain instructions are executed and you can have a interrupt in between. Okay, so that case will not happen here. So if you are executing the P code, logic related to P code, it will be executed to its completion. Okay, and same case is with the V code. Okay, so that is why we call these two operations are atomic nature. Now this is the only fundamental property of semaphores. Because of this we can achieve or we can solve the race condition problem. Okay, and semaphore is always initialized to 1. Okay, note this point, and why it is always initialized to 1, that also we will see with one example. Okay, so always initially the semaphore is always initialized to 1. Okay, now when you are implementing, how to implement this, or when you are implementing your critical section logic, so what you have to do, in the previous slides we have discussed, you have critical section, and above the critical section you have entry section, and after that you have your exit section. Okay, so always your P operation or the wait operation will be executed in the entry section. Okay, always remember, when you want to enter into the critical section, you have to execute the code that is written in your P section, or P operation is to be executed. Once you finish executing with the critical section, then always V operation should be executed in the exit code. Okay, so entry code में P operation, exit code में V operation आपको करना है. This is compulsory. You need not interchange this. Okay, now so a critical section is surrounded by both operations to implement process synchronization, that I have told you. Now what are the uses of semaphores? So you can achieve mutual exclusion. Okay, that means only one process will be in its critical section during a given point of time. Then you can also decide the order of execution of processes, which process will be executing first, that is also decided. Then you can manage resources also. Okay, so let's see with one example how all these things can happen. Okay, for now just remember, here again down is nothing but your P operation, up is nothing but your V operation. Okay, so just understand, whenever you are entering into critical section, आपको ये code execute करना है, और जब आप exit करोगे तब आपको ये code execute करना है. Okay, so let's say you have a semaphore value always initialized to 1. Initial value is 1. Okay, now you have two processes, P1 process and P2 process, which want to execute in its critical section. Okay, so let's say P1 is executing first. Okay, P1 is executing first. So P1 is executing first, that means before going into the critical section, it has to execute something in the entry section. So I have told you, in the entry section always which code will be executed? Down. Okay, so in the down code, if you see what you are doing in the down code, we are checking whether the value of semaphore is less than 0 or not, less than or equal to 0 or not. So it is less than or equal to 0? No, condition is false. If it is less than or equal to 0, you have to be in your infinite loop here. Okay, otherwise if this condition is false, then you have to decrement the semaphore value. So when you are decrement the value, semaphore value, that means now S value will become 0. Okay, now after that you are going into the critical section. Okay, so once you go into the critical section, now let's suppose P2 process wants to enter into critical section. Okay, so P2 also will be have to run the entry code. Now in the entry code, if you see S value you are comparing, so your S value is less than equal to 0, so the condition is true. So in that case your P2 process cannot go into critical section, so it will be waiting here. P2 is waiting here, checking the value of S. Okay, now let's say in meanwhile P1 has completed its critical section, so it will go into exit section, and I have told you they are atomic operations. Okay, that means after exiting it has to execute the up code. Okay, or the V code is to be executed. Now as per the up code, you have to just increment your S value. So increment your S value, so now the semaphore value will become 1. Okay, so in the exit section semaphore value is equals to 1. Okay, now let P1 has exited your section, critical section. So now you can see P2, if it wants to enter into the critical section, it can check the value of semaphore. Okay, so it is executing the down code. In the down code you are checking whether S value is less than equal to 0. No, this condition is false. Okay, so P2 can happily enter into the critical section and the semaphore value will be again becomes 0. Okay, now let's say some other process P3 wants to enter into the critical section. Okay, is it possible to enter at this situation? Is it possible for P3 to enter into critical section?
No.
No, it is not possible to enter. Okay, so in that case again P3 will be in the waiting state. Okay, so this is one implementation mechanism where you are implementing using the binary semaphore. Okay, you are using 1 or 0 value and maintaining the property of critical section without allowing more than one process to execute in its critical section. Now, in the previous slide, I have written one statement that S should be always initialized to 1. Okay, so let's check what happens if you don't initialize it to 1. Let's say we take it as 0. Okay, now consider the same example. P1, okay, it wants to enter into the critical section, and P2, it also wants to enter into the critical section. So before entering, they have to execute the P operation. So what is the P operation? While S is less than 0, okay, you're not supposed to do anything. Okay, less than equal to 0, you're not supposed to do anything, so you're not doing anything. Okay, S value is less than equal to 0, so P is in the infinite loop, keeping on checking to ensure that S value is 1. Okay, so S value is not 1, so it keeps on checking for the S value. Now let's say you have P2 another value, it also will be executing the P operation. So P operation, again you are checking the condition while S is less than or equal to 0. Okay, you are not supposed to do anything. So S value is 0, so P2 also cannot do anything. Okay, so like this, if you have n number of processes, they cannot do anything. No process can enter into the critical section. Okay, that means your critical section will never get executed of any process. So all the processes will be in your block state or waiting state. Okay, so that is why it is always suggested or written in the books, or S value should always be 1. That means at least you should give start the process of executing the processes. Okay, if you have S value 1, at least one process will be executing. Okay, so when S value becomes 0, okay, then it cannot, other process cannot execute, and when it comes into the exit section, S value will again be 1. Okay, so this is the atomic operation. That means in entry you are reducing it, in exit you are incrementing it. Okay, did you get this concept? Is the concept clear up to here? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now there's one more statement that is written here. This could possibly lead to busy waiting. Okay. So as we have seen in this example, when P1 is executing with the critical section, P1 is executing with the critical section, your semaphore value will be 0. Okay, because P1 is executing. Okay, and it has not entered into the exit state. Okay, it is still inside only. Now meanwhile, let's say you have P2, P3 and P4 processes, they want to execute in the critical section, but it is not possible because they will be here in the infinite loop. S value is less than equal to 0, the condition is true, so here these processes will be in your infinite loop. So P2, P3, P4 will always be the busy waiting. So if you remember, we have discussed busy waiting is you are just wasting the resources of your processes. Okay, processors resources are being wasted, CPU cycles are being wasted. Okay, so if you are implementing this type, I mean implementing scenarios in this logic, then most of the processes will be going to the busy waiting state. So to avoid this busy waiting state, what we can do is we can maintain some queues. Okay, you maintain some queues. Now in the queues you store these waiting processes, okay, and just wake up them whenever your semaphore is ready. Okay, so you include this logic within the down and up operation itself. So if you don't have available option to execute with the critical section, put the process in the queue. Okay, and when you have the option available, then you just use the up code to wake this process up and execute with the critical section. That is our next concept. So you are implementing semaphore with no busy waiting. Okay, so you are avoiding this problem. यहाँ पे जो P2, P3, P4 block हो रहे थे, that problem you need to avoid. So with each semaphore, you maintain one waiting queue, associated waiting queue. Okay, so in waiting queue, it has two data items. That means when you implement this, you can implement in the form of a structure. So you will be having two data items. One will be the value and another will be the pointer. Okay, so now two operations are possible here, that is block and wake up. So when you don't have availability to access the critical section, you place that in the block queue. Okay, and when you're ready, when a process is ready to execute with the critical section, you execute the wake up operation. Okay, so block is place the process invoking the operation on appropriate waiting queue. Wake up is remove one process from the waiting queue and place it in the ready queue. And note that you are placing in the ready queue, you are not giving directly to the critical section. So in ready queue, if it is placed, then it has to do all the operations from the starting again. Okay, let's see this also with an example, how that is implemented and all those things. So let's say let's take here the counting semaphore rather than binary semaphore. So it can take values other than 0 and 1 also. Okay, minus infinity to plus infinity will be its range. Okay, let's implement this with the counting semaphore. Okay, so in the counting semaphore, you have two operations, wait and signal. So this time I have changed the representation. Last example we have seen down and up, and this time it is wait and signal. So this is the down code or the P operation, and this is the up code or the V operation. Okay, so let's say initially I'm taking my semaphore value to be 3. Okay, this I'm showing you for one example only. Okay, so let's take semaphore. Okay, 1 ले लेते हैं, चलो. Always the semaphore value is initialized to 1, so let's take it as 1. Okay, now your P1 process comes to the processor that this wants to be executed. Okay, so in that case, first you will be executing the entry section code, then the critical section, then exit section code. So in the entry section, you are always supposed to execute this code. Okay, so P1 value is 1, so what you have to do, you have to reduce this value. Okay, so this value now will become 0. Once it is 0, so you check the condition if this value of semaphore is less than 0. So 0 less than 0, condition is false. Okay, so you are not supposed to do anything. Okay, you just come out of this if loop and your process will be entering into the critical section. So now P1 is working with the critical section. Meanwhile, P2 comes to the processor that it has to be executed. So it also has the entry section, and it also has the critical section and exit section. Now when your P2 wants to execute, so P1 in the entry section will be executing this code itself. Okay, so here S value will be reduced to minus minus. Okay, so minus minus, if you take, the value will become -1. Okay, so be careful. If you are working with the binary semaphore, your 0 value will remain 0 itself, because it can take only 2 values. And if you are working with your counting semaphores, okay, then in that case your value can be reduced. So we have given the example of counting, so here it will be -1. So if S value is less than 0, so S value is -1, -1 is less than 0, so the condition is true. Now you have to add this process to the list. So associated with this semaphore, you maintain one list. Okay, in the list you add this process. Which process? P2 process is added to the list. Okay, now let's say P3 process also comes, and meanwhile P1 is still in the critical section, so it also tries to execute with the semaphore. Okay, it also tries to execute. So in this case what happens, again your semaphore value is reduced to -2. Okay, and you add the value of P3 process to this list. Okay, and you execute the block. Okay, so this way, if one process is in critical section, other processes are in the block, or you are maintaining a queue and all the processes are residing in this queue. Okay, they are not checking frequently the value of semaphore. Okay, like the one in previous example, they are just residing in this queue. Okay, so P3 is also now in the queue. Now let's suppose P1 has now completed its execution. Okay, whatever number of processes, if P1 is in the critical section, all will be stored in this queue and the value will be changed accordingly. Okay, now let's suppose P1 has completed its critical section, and we know after finishing you have to execute the exit section. Okay, so in the exit section you are writing this code. So in the exit section, what you are supposed to do, first you have to increment your semaphore value. So you are incrementing your semaphore value. So -2 now +1, your value now again will become -1. Okay, so you are checking if the value is less than equal to 0. Okay, you are checking if the value is less than equal to 0. That means yes, -1 is less than equal to 0. So what you have to do, you have to remove one process P from the list. So any one process you have to remove. Okay, that can be randomly, or again scheduling can come into picture. Okay, so you are removing one process. Let's say I am removing P2. Okay, let's say I'm removing P2. So on P2 you have to issue a wake up call. Okay, on P2 you have to issue a wake up call. That means P2 will now again go back to the ready state. Okay, it will be going back to your ready queue. So your CPU is maintaining the ready queue. It will be going from this queue to this queue. Okay, now whenever its turn comes to execute in its critical section, again the CPU will be executing this code of entry section. So now check S value minus minus. So you already the value is -1. Okay, so again if you reduce it to minus minus, now the value will become -1 माइनस माइनस क्या होगा? हेलो, whatever value is there you have to reduce 1. -1 में से और एक -1 करेंगे तो क्या होगा? I'll have it as 0. Okay, so again you are executing your P2 process. P2 process will be in its critical section. Again after that P2 has to execute its exit. Now in the exit, again you are checking, you are incrementing the value of semaphore, and you are checking if there is any process in the list. If there is any process, you are just issuing a wake up call. Okay, so this way you are avoiding your busy waiting by maintaining queues with respect to each of the semaphore. ओके, जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड, आपको जब भी एंट्री में जाना है तब आपको सेमाफोर की वैल्यू डिक्रीमेंट करनी है, और जब भी एग्जिट सेक्शन में है तब आपको सेमाफोर की वैल्यू इंक्रीमेंट करनी है. ठीक है, सो आई होप दिस इज क्लियर फॉर यू. Now again let's solve the same problem, the producer consumer problem, with the help of semaphores. Okay, जो लास्ट लेक्चर में हमने स्लीप एंड वेकअप से किया था, this semaphore, this problem that we are solving here again with the help of semaphores. Okay, now there, if you remember, we had the condition that your wake up call was lost. Okay, so here it will not happen because these are atomic operations, so your wake up call will not be lost. Okay, so again the same initialization, I mean same discussion. You have the number of producers and you have the number of consumers. Okay, producers will be putting the data whatever they have produced in a shared location, and consumer will be consuming the data from the shared location. Okay, so here in locations, here you are terming it as buffers. So n buffers you have, and each buffer can hold one data item. Okay, in this example we are using 3 semaphores. One semaphore is used for mutual exclusion, that is mutex. Okay, so this semaphore for mutex ensures either the producer is accessing the shared location or consumer. Okay, but not both at the same time. So whenever you want to put the data item, you have to always execute the down operation on mutex. Similarly, when you have to remove the any data item from the consumer, then also you have to execute the semaphore operation on mutex. That means without mutex you cannot go for further. So always you have to run the code that is written on this variable, right? Now again it is a binary semaphore, we are initializing it to 1. Okay, so if it is initialized to 0, then you know there will not be any progress, so you are initializing it to 1. Okay, now you have other 2 semaphores, that is full and empty. So full is initially 0 because your initially the buffer is not full, that means initially buffer empty है, अभी producer ने कुछ items produce ही नहीं किया है, right? So initially full value will be equals to 0 and empty is equal to n. So n buffers are empty, so n value will be, empty value will be n. So always remember, whenever you want to access the full, first mutex आपको execute करना है, ठीक है, then full semaphore को access करना है. Similarly empty आपको access करना है तो पहले mutex आएगा फिर empty आएगा. So always mutex semaphore will be there in picture. Okay, so let's see how it is implemented. So here you have producer's code, here you have your consumer's code. So again the same initializations, n is taken to be 100, that is 100 slots you have in your buffer. Okay, then you are defining semaphore, a special kind of data type, and 3 semaphores you are taking, mutex, empty and full. Okay, so the conditions remain the same, like the producer produces the item when the buffer is empty, consumer consumes the item when the buffer is full. Okay, so these are the same conditions. So first let's check with the producer's code. So first you have this item, and while true, as it will be executing for infinite number of times. So your producer is producing one item, first item is produced. Now this item is to be placed into the buffer. Okay, this item is to be placed into the buffer. Okay, so now if you see down of empty, so down of empty मतलब empty पे हमको कौन सा ऑपरेशन करना होगा, empty is n, so you have to reduce n value to -1 value you have to reduce. That means n will become n minus minus, empty will become empty minus minus. Okay, that means initially n buffers थे but एक item produce हो गया है और वो item हमको buffer में रखना है. So now empty space will be reduced by 1. Okay, so now you are reducing your empty space. Now similarly you have to put the data item into buffer, तो आपके पास mutex semaphore भी होना चाहिए. That means आपको critical section access करने के लिए ये mutex semaphore हम use कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, so mutex initially value is 0, so when you are executing the down operation value will become 0. Okay, initially it is 1. Now when you are executing down operation, reduce it, so it will become 0. Now when it is 0, your producer process can access this buffer. So what is the logic he is using here? That is to insert the item, whatever item is produced here. Now the item is placed here. Let's name it as item 1. Okay, now once the item is placed here, you need to notify it to consumer. Okay, so first step is you need to exit the critical section. So when you are exiting the critical section, you are performing the up operations. Okay, जैसा यहाँ पे down operation किया था, similarly up operations you are performing. So in the up operation on mutex, so now mutex value will become 1. Okay, and you are signaling it to full, that is full semaphore. It was initially 0, now it will become 1. ठीक है, yes. Any doubt still here? Okay, so next the consumer code. So consumer is waiting for the area or the buffer to be full. Okay, so it will be executing the down operation on full. So when you execute down operation, obviously your value will be reduced by 1, so your full value will now become 0. Okay, and consumer also wants to take the data item from this buffer, so it also wants the help of mutex semaphore. So mutex is 1, so your consumer can access the semaphore. It will now become 0. Now once a consumer has the data item as well as the access, so it can happily remove the data item. So once the data item is removed from here, okay, you need to update your empty and full slots, empty and mutex. So mutex, in the exit section you are executing your up code. Okay, so that means what happens, mutex के ऊपर आप up operation कर रहे हो, that means your value now will be 1. Okay, and again you are executing the up operation on the empty. Okay, so empty was n minus minus, now वापस से n plus plus हो जाएगा. Okay, that means let's say initially 100 था, तो पहले 99 हो गया था, 99 free slots, but one item is removed. Now again you have 100 free slots only. Okay, so now the item is in the item variable, consumer can happily consume the item. Okay, so this way you can achieve your mutual exclusion is also there with the help of mutex semaphore. Okay, and there is no issue of lost wake up calls. Okay, in the last example we have seen that the wake up call sent by the consumer or the producer may be lost, so that is not possible here because these are atomic operations. Okay, so all the modifications they are doing in the semaphores only, and the respective processes will be checking the shared variables and accordingly the code will be executed. Okay, so this way you can solve this problem of trace condition. Okay, is it clear up to here? Hello. Yes, Polo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now this is the same logic but from another textbook. ओके यहाँ पे अप डाउन यूज़ करके दिया है और यहाँ पे वेट और सिग्नल दिया है एंड इफ़ यू सी इट्स द सेम द ऑर्डर एंड एवरीथिंग इज सेम सो फर्स्ट यू आर चेकिंग द empty and mutex here also you are checking the empty and mutex and then signal full all these are same the semaphores on which the operation is performed is same only the name is changed so both will be executing in the same fashion okay. Okay, so that's all with your producer consumer problem. Okay, so let's see some questions like on this, how it can be asked in either multiple choice or so. So first, let's solve this problem. Okay, so if you are given like this, a counting semaphore was initialized to 10. So initially your semaphore value is 10 and on this you are applying 6 P operations and 4 V operations. Okay, so what will be the final value? So this kind of questions can be asked. Okay, so it's quite easy. So whenever you have P operation or weight operation or down operation, you have to just decrement the value. Okay, so here you will be decrementing your value 10 times. So 10 minus 6, you will be having 4. Okay, now after that it is told that you are applying 4 V operations or 4 signal operations. So in that case you have to increment the value. So whatever the result is there, 4 plus 4. Okay, so you'll be getting 8 here. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now if I say if S is equal to 0, how many processes are there in the suspend state? If S value is 0. You can take this for reference. So if you remember this example, when it was -2, how many processes were in the suspend state? Hello? हाँ बोलो. 2. Okay, so if randomly a question comes like if you have if S is equals to -10, so how many processes are there in suspend state? So answer is simply 10. Okay, now similarly I have asked you if S is equal to 0, how many processes are there in suspend state? Okay, so 0 हो तो कितने processes होंगे suspend state में?
0.
0. Okay, so this kind of question can be there. Okay. Now in this type of questions order also is important. Okay, don't simply go with total P operations or total V operations. Okay, so if I say S value is 17, okay, and you are performing 5 P operations, 3 V operation and 1 P operation in this order, so what will be the final value of semaphore?
$14.
14. Yes. Who
1
has
for 14.
told this? किसने कहा ये?
Raj.
Raj. Okay, good. Raj. Correct answer. Okay, so always notice that if sequentially is written, that means you have to perform the execution in sequence only. Okay, so any doubts till here? This will do in next time. Okay, example. This example, the answer is already given to you. Just let me know if anyone can solve this. So you have x, a variable initialized to 0, and it is operated by 4 processes. So you can understand that X is the semaphore here. Okay. W, X, Y, Z. You can take screenshot and tell the answer later on also. Answer is there, but you need to tell the process कि किस तरीके से वो आंसर डिराइव हुआ है. So this task you will be completing and we'll be discussing in next lecture. Any questions till now? Hello.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So have you, I mean, screenshot ले लिया question का?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope to have this discussion in the next lecture. ठीक है? There was one example. This also you can try. Here the logic used here, instead of wait and signal, they have used wait and release, but release will be working as same as your signal operation or your up operation. Okay, so you can consider this also. So here you have 3 semaphores, S0, S1, S2. So how many times will P0 print 0? ठीक है, questions like this and some more questions will discuss in the next time. Along with this we'll also have 2 more problems, like the producer consumer problem. You have readers writer problem and dining philosophers problem. Those also will be discussed. Okay, so if you have any questions you can ask, otherwise we may conclude this meet today.